Hello, hello. It seems we are in direct. Hello, everyone. Hope you're well. This is Greg's Whiskey Guide with a guest. I will introduce you in a minute. So I hope you're there. I don't see if there's a lot of people. If there's someone watching, can you tell me? I'm just going to check it on the phone. If sound and image, okay, please. And then I will start. All right. Oh, it is not yet in direct. Oh, okay. Terrible internet connection. Oh, okay. But I hope someone sees it because on my phone it doesn't seem so. So I don't see no image. Oh, okay, it's good. Okay, fantastic. Oh, it's good we have phones, right? So, oh yeah, Gert, thank you very much for last week. To have been there. Really, I know you struggle. Yeah, you said you will struggle with your connection while in traveling. So thank you very much for even trying. You're very welcome to. So yeah, terrible internet connection. I really hope it will work. Let me see. No, it's okay like this. Okay, so everyone, I don't know if you've seen last year's double blind live show with my pal Menno from Belgium. Double blind, the principle is I have sent, oh, Madagascar, okay, nice. I have sent Menno a bunch of samples last year. He did the same. And within the sample, 3 were not disclosed. And we're going to try to guess each one's sample. And then, oh, internet is not working too bad. Well, if it doesn't work, don't worry, my friend. You can still watch it on replay when you'll be back and give your opinion and your maybe your guesses along the way if you played the game. Anyway, so I'm gonna introduce without further ado my guest. Hey, hello, Tim. So this is the man, the asshat man, the lord of the asshat, lord of the rings, whatever you want, lord of the blogs, maybe. So hi, my friend, how are you?
Oh, fine. Thank you. Thanks
Okay.
for having me.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for being there as well. I really enjoy those blinds. We played along last year with Toby, who's covering,
hmm
by the way, with this coin, the first blind of yours, while the second is topped by Whiskey Novice.
hmm
Up. I don't know if it has any signification. And the third by Certified Originals. So it's also
hmm
a way to say hello to those channels all the way. So, how do we feel? Like confident?
Not in the slightest.
Well, don't
Absolutely
worry,
not.
it's the same for me. But before we start, we have also prepared a few questions to ask
hmm
you along the
hmm
way. So I think, as usual, when I have guests, and also in this kind of format, size of things, I like to ask my guest about what's going on in his country, but also more beyond that, what's going on in the all things whiskey, right?
hmm
So I think we'll also debate that between the tastings. Also, a disclaimer I want to do. Um, yes, it's a blind tasting, but for me, the interest of blind tasting, especially with connoisseurs like Menno and friend, I can say also the same, is the excuse for debate, right? About how things are made, how the whiskey is made, etc. When we know it. So for me, it's not. I mean, I could have picked 3 Glen whatever that everyone knows and would be, oh, you haven't guessed, you're not good. Oh, you have guessed, this is good. This whiskey is like this, like that. But if we only speak about things we know, what's the point? I mean, and also we cannot know every bottle around. So it's not that thing of guessing absolutely everything, but it's more like, what do you think of the whiskey with no bias? I don't know if you see that way. I see that way. So I think we'll manage to have a nice experience, whatever guesses we have. I don't know what you think of that. What you make of that, Menno?
Yeah, we need to. If you truly want to assess a whiskey and go without any prejudices or biases, you need to try them blind. It's the whiskey that's on trial as much as
Yeah,
we are tonight.
absolutely. It's like I said. So we will do a bit of a housekeeping, like Roy would say. So who we have. So I'm, for the record, I'm on my mini computer because my main computer is not shut down completely, but very hard to work on. So this is my way also to exist on my channel live while things are being changed along the way. So bear with me. So we have Gert from Whiskey Lover Society. So congrats also for your success, Gert. I recommend people to watch also the channel, but also I also ask people to check out Menno's blog. I should have started by that, I know. We'll get back to it. Also, Gert is a mod, mind you. So he's in Madagascar currently. Unfortunately, his connection is not good. I know that, so I can. So we have also Tim. Can you remind us where you're from? I have just.
He's from the Netherlands.
Oh, okay, Netherlands, fantastic. Yeah, I should have found out by the name, right? First, last name. Okay, so before we start, indeed, what can you say about your blog? We already did a live show together. I recommended people to check out your blog, which is Malty Mission.
Yeah, Malty Mission.
Just Malty Mission. If you
just
take that,
website.maltymission, or just Google Malty Mission and it will take you there.
Okay. Also, if you check out, but I will put that into, if not already made, into the description of the video. There's a, for people who don't know it yet, Menno is also a musician and is in part of Nastica, which is a nice hardcore band for those who like that kind of music, of course. And I like also to discuss music with him. Also, what is very interesting in Menno's blog is, and really I have to commend him for that, there's always a big work of giving context to the tasting, whether he's been talking about a distillery or an indie bottler, or the context in which he tried the whiskey. So there's something that's very interesting. You don't see it everywhere. You see it other blogs, but I like his personal touch on it, and he's way better than me in English. So there's no doubt about that. So I appreciate also his view about things. Not necessarily agree 100% of the time, but often
it will be boring if we all agreed 100% of the time.
But often, and also when I like the distillery or the company, I like also his to have his opinion about what he tries. The only thing I might regret, but I'm not sure to convince him tonight about that, is that he doesn't like to rate whiskies, right?
Well, I do like to rate them if I have a full bottle, but this year I have so many samples at the moment.
Okay.
And I think it's unfair to give a score just based on 3 or 5 centiliter sample. It's more like an impression than a full review. So that's why I don't hand out scores to samples. I would rather just say I would be keen to actually try and buy a full bottle of this, or I'm just happy having the sample, or I really wouldn't like to buy a bottle or something like that. When it's a full bottle, it's different, and I don't mind giving scores.
But okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, me, I like scores, but at the end of the day, as I always say, I think the most important for me is the comment, because you can put more nuances in the comment, right? Oh, is the first one of mine you're noting?
No.
Okay, something else.
No, it's the whiskeys you've poured for me or you sent me, and each time I nose number 3, I thinking, oh, this seems so familiar, and yet I can't put my finger on it.
Okay.
So it's probably a whiskey I've never tried before, and I'm already completely lost.
For the people out there, and also for you, thanks for the people joining. I see 4 people now.
Thank you.
There's a clue I'm going to give you. I don't know if I'm right in that, but if you like, you can give it also to me. We didn't prepare that.
Nope.
I'm going to give you a clue of a different kind of usually I do. It's the number. It's a number in 3 figures. It's 364. I'm going to tell you what it is, but 364. Hey, Anthony, good to have you. Very cool to have some people from the outer space. No, but from the other side of the planet. Very welcome to see you. Team, I always score because it's personal score. Everything is relative. Make out of it whatever you want. Yeah, absolutely. So what were we saying? Yeah, 300. Let's stay on this mode. 364. Have you an idea of what it is, Menno?
364. I hope it's not the price of one of the bottles.
It's the price of all the 3 bottles.
Oh, the 3 bottles. Okay. That's reassuring.
Can you give me yours, or?
I have no idea. I would.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
I would have to check. I think one is. Let me think.
No. Don't say one.
No. I don't know. Let me. I'm gonna try. It would be around. Also around somewhere between 270 and 300.
Okay, so we're not so far. That's good.
Nope.
Interesting. Good. We have now no idea what it is, but it's okay. So as I understood, your first blind is a bit less, has less ABV than mine. So I mean, my blind from you, right? Mine is a bit less under 50. And you gave away, I'm sorry, the 46 for the first one, right? Okay, so thank you. I'm advanced stage now. So, okay, guys, we're going to jump on that with the first blind whiskey from Menno. Then I'm going to ask him, or he's going to ask me a question, let's say that. And then after the next one, I'm going to ask him a question, right? Okay. Well, let's get started. It's me on the spot. It changes a bit. So I have my trusty Authentis
very nice glassware
from Spiegelau. Thanks for Ravinidar for providing me some of the glasses. The others, I bought them myself. So I see a lot of nice viscosity there, very sticking to the glass. So let me take this. I've prepared this, but honestly, I won't have the time to really take notes now. I never do in this kind of circumstances. So I won't do. Also, I don't know you, but I struggle to assess the whiskey with the headphones. It's a bit psychological. Like if the ears have to be free. Something going on in your head. It's probably stupid, but
no, it's interesting because indeed all senses are, of course, connected. So
I'm gonna go first nose, and I'm gonna assume it's non-chill filtered. I don't know if it's true. By the sticky legs, lasting quite long before they drop. It's very fruity. There's a kind of green note coming on. So some kind of maybe underwood, herbal, maybe a bit of black tea, a bit over infused. It's very nice. I sense also some pear, some orchard fruit oriented towards pear and ripe apple. I don't know if I'm right on this.
Yeah. It's interesting.
I like the nose, as there's something reminding me of Bile Blair. I don't know if I'm Bile Blair and Glenfiddich, but older Glenfiddich. So I don't think it's a Glenfiddich. But no, it has something more powerful than Glenfiddich. Also, you said 46. But I will go for a Speyside on first guess.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. Would you like to guess what region it is? But you already guessed Speyside
or Highlands, those so Scottish, and
yes,
15 years old.
Are Scottish.
15 years
15
old.
Years, okay.
You're giving away too much, my friend.
Would you like to know the region?
Yeah, am I correct?
It's a highland.
Okay. Interesting. So it's not a Balblair. Yeah, me too, sorry? Anthony. It's not a Balblair.
No.
Okay. I don't have nothing on hand with maps or stuff. I'm playing the game like, except I have this on the wall, but that doesn't give any distillery there name. So something I might say. I'm not sure. Not Royal Brackla. No. I think I know the distillery. I mean, I tried already. Probably the whiskeys from this distillery. Can I ask if it's Northern Highlands?
Eastern Highlands.
Eastern Highlands. Yeah. Oh, would it be a Glengarry? 15 or?
Nope.
Not Glengarry. Wow. Huh. Does it have an age statement?
Yes, it does.
Okay. I like the nose. Maybe I should jump to the palate. What do you think to learn more?
Try the palate.
Okay, Sanjeva. There's something that I like, which is kind of a glazed orange sherbet almost, with almost effervescent feel to it. So there's a lot of vanilla as well. There's something Glenmorangie, but it's not Glenmorangie because it's in the east of the Highlands. And now my map is... oh, man. Do you know if I tried this distillery already?
I'm quite sure you've tried it. Actually even...
Own one?
You also reviewed the distillery. I'm pretty sure you did.
Okay, but not this one, maybe.
I don't know if you did this one. Possibly, yes.
Is it core range?
It's a core range official. It's a core range official release.
Okay. That's nice. But is Glencadam in the east? I have a... I'm confused about regions. But it's a good call because it's a beautiful palate. It's a beautiful nose, Anthony. So I will...
Good call indeed.
Yeah, I would say good call. Oh, man, there's something I cannot... This is beautiful. It has a nice of complexity. I try another sip and then dilute it. Oh, man, I know this distillery. There's that tea, Earl Grey tea, is also present on the palate. It's a bit more leafy, I would say, though. There's something that's... I cannot point the fruit. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm going to try to put a few drops, but I'm forgetting the distillery names, so I'm pretty sure I've already tried the distillery and probably own something of it. But Glenturret?
Hey, Jimmy.
No. Oh, good evening, Jimmy. No, Glenturret is Speyside, right?
No, Glenturret is Highland too. Also Eastern Highlands, I think.
But it's not Glenturret. I haven't tried recent Glenturret, so... Would it be a Blair Athol? No.
No,
Blair
nope.
Athol is Speyside.
It's already been mentioned.
Oh, I already did mention the distillery. No.
Mm-hmm.
The good answer.
Sorry.
Oh, no.
No,
I did mention the.
You meant the name of the distillery has already been mentioned.
By me? No. So is it Glencadam?
It is Glencadam.
Oh man, it is not the 10.
It is not the 10.
Is it the 13?
It is not the 13.
No, because I have the 13, so I would have noted different things. Oh, okay. Must be the 15 or the 21. Right? I have to choose? 21? Ah, that's beautiful.
It is a 21.
Wow, fantastic. Let's show it a bit more at please. Yeah, I really thank you so much. I really love this one. And for me, it's really something on the. And indeed, I reviewed the sample of it in a video. It's really something for me that's going a step ahead of the 10 and of the 13 and of the 15, because there's more complexity than the 10, with the same charming fruity vanilla estery notes, but there's more depth. So really, it comforts me. Comforts me in my will to get a bottle. Well, thank you so much. It's a beautiful dram.
It's a beautiful whiskey, and you have to be in the mood for it as well, because it's almost always
changing.
It's mostly refill bourbon cask in maturity, so quite often it can come across as younger than 21 years old.
Do you know if it's only
really lovely balanced whiskey?
Oh yeah.
Very delicate.
Only bourbon, Menno?
I think it doesn't say, but I think it's only bourbon cask.
Yeah, it's fantastic, Tim. I agree. I don't sense, honestly. Excuse me, guys. I completely agree with Tim. I don't sense a lot of oak. Then maybe it has a few batch variation. Hey, hi Sheldon. Thanks for coming in.
Oh, hey, hi Sheldon.
I don't know if you're gonna watch the replay for the first one, but yeah, the first one is very. The first one blind I had from Menno. We're starting on the guest side. Is fantastic. So, in case you want to watch the replay of the beginning, I'm not going to mention what it is, but it's a very nice treat from Menno for my first dram. I'm really pleased, and I think it's on a good place before the first blind of mine to Menno, because it has a bit more ABV, and it's a different style, which is probably a bit heavier and less subtle, I would say. But yeah, welcome to Canada, welcome to the United States, to Netherlands, and to Jimmy's in the US also, I think.
Jimmy's in Boston. So.
Oh, okay. So US. And then to Gert, who has a bad connection, but thanks for trying at least. So yeah, that was fantastic. I really love that expression, and I'm glad I have a bit more to enjoy later on. Merci beaucoup.
Bien à vous.
All right. Hello, Dustin. So more United States coming in. We have the first dram, blind dram from Menno for me. I really enjoyed it. In case you want to watch the replay, I'm not going to say what it is. I'm sorry, unless you ask for it. Guys, let me know.
50-year-old Macallan to start the blind.
No. I wouldn't say it's better, but in some ways it's more satisfying than current Macallans. So, okay, so I think you had a question for me before you tried my blind.
Yes.
So we have prepared the question a bit beforehand, because this answers might be difficult or very long. So
yeah,
I'll let
this
you
might be
ask. My friend.
So on your channels, you do review quite a bit of French whiskey, which I assume means that French whiskey is going places, becoming more and more interesting, more and more things to be on the lookout for. But how do you see the future of French whiskey? Because there are indeed more and more distilleries now around.
There's
Most
a boom
of them are
currently.
quite small scale. But is the French whiskey scene in itself booming? Because when you look at the state of Scotch whiskey today, it seems that the hype is a bit cooling down now, and a lot of distilleries are actually facing some difficulties. So how do you see French whiskey in all of this?
Okay, thanks for the question. Well, I've prepared a lot of bottles there to show, but I'm not sure I'm going to show them all because I have around 7. If I withdraw all the sample bottles for the blend I've did for distillery, it's a single malt, but it's a blend of cask. It's something I've been asked to work for them for one experience. If I withdraw it, where did I put that? I have, well, let's say instead of 79, let's say I might have around, let's say 65 bottles of French whiskey of only 23 out of the 140 or 150 plus currently French whiskey distilleries, or rather, I don't want to complicate that too much, 150 distilleries making whiskey, but many of them are also making other spirits, mind you. So it's also the way for them to diversify. So not all are doing only whiskey, not many in fact. Then I have 4 different indie bottlers out of probably 15 now. And an aged spirit, which will become soon a new distillery doing whiskey. But that was not the question. So the question, I would say, to answer your question, you have to draw at least a small picture of what the French scene is. So I'm not going to dive too much into that. For those interested in that, I encourage them to watch my 2, and it's in English. So j'ai aussi des choses en français pour les spectateurs français. I have made 2 videos called French Whiskies, which explain basically everything you have to know about French whiskey, about its scale, about the different style of whiskeys, etc. Good evening, Alan. Thanks for coming there. So I would say this. There are basically 4 different kinds of, probably not gonna show the bottles yet now at this stage. There are 4 kinds of distilleries of whiskey types in France, let's say, and the 4 comes from different kind of industries or different take on whiskey or different goals. That can be only making money. It can be really trying to showcase the terroir, if there is any. Another question to be debated. There's also coming like Scotch like pioneers, so Armoric and Glenarmor, which is called now Celtic Whisky Distillery. Hi, Peter White. So everybody knows now, probably in the audience, that Varanghem Distillery, making the Armoric, is the pioneer of all French whiskies back in theory 1983, but rather 1998. Basically, the French whiskey industry has only 27 years of existence. 100% French whiskey. The first one in 1987 was partly French. David Roussier, the owner of Varanghem, admitted that publicly in an interview by Leon Schuster, by the way, from Malt Mariner's Whiskey on the Road, which I also recommend, a German channel.
Peter.
So the wheat was French, but the malt from the first blend, Whiskey Breton, was indeed from Scotland. So the 100% French whiskey was only released in 1998. It was an Armoric. Hey, Jeff, good to see you as well. Thanks for coming. But yeah, to put a long story short, there are Scotch-like pioneers, like I showed you. They're beer industry-based, like the Artesia. Many of them are more recent. Not going to show any by category. Wine industry-based, where it is. You have Bruno Mangin, And unfortunately, is in the Jura region of France. Unfortunately, this leads to your question. Not only that's going to be a whiskey loch, but there are also distilleries closing, like this one, which is very interesting. Bruno Mangin, who was one of the best wine-based, 100% wine cask-based, has closed its doors the end of last year, but it's more a question of retiring, and also something like maybe the sales are not as they would have wanted. But the company has been bought, but their stock is huge, 1,500 casks. So it's going to be sold still as a whiskey. Now, what's not good is in these pioneers that the Huberach, the distillery Bertrand making the Saint-Vendelin and also Huberach single malt is closing. And this is more part of the answer to your question, the whiskey loch. But also a question, this capitalism. I'm not going to talk too much about politics, but of course there's capitalism in action there. The sales are not probably as the owner wished. They're owned by Wolf Berger, who does also wine and sparkling wines in Alsace, in the east region of France, forgot to say. But they don't want to multiply the facilities to do distillation because they mainly distill other spirits than whiskey. So they closed down that one that was in a certain area to focus on the main area, which is the Colmar city. So what I understand from the French press, specialized press, is that's probably going to resume production, maybe with another name in the future. So maybe not a strict per se closing of a distillery, but yeah, we're going to finish the style types and then continue to answer. So wine industry based is the third category I would say. This one has never stopped and I think will continue because we're a country of wine and many people think that they're right or wrong, that French whiskey has to be different from Scotch whiskey by using wine cask instead of using American oak, etc., bourbon.
Basically, the same philosophy as in a lot of Australian whiskies, where there's a lot of wine production as well. So it's only natural to adopt the wine casks that are already lying about to mature.
Absolutely, but now that said, some of them will still rely on first maturation in bourbon casks. So I have examples too. I'm not gonna. Hey, Donna Pass, good to see you. Thanks a lot. Anyway, and there's always the replay, possibility. Now, the last one, I'm not going to be too long on the answer, is the cognac industry and other spirits industry. Calvados, which is apple brandy for people who are not familiar with that. Also, as strange as vermouth or other spirits producers. They see there's a trend, there's people interested in drinking more whiskey, so they will jump on that train. Also, because the cognac industry, I don't want to be too long, I already touched that on my channel, but yeah, the cognac industry also has the knowledge of cooperage and maturation, distillation through pot stills, which are close, Alambic Charentais, which is close to the pot still, Scottish pot stills. But the only thing I think probably they don't have is the spirit of doing whiskey differently than cognac. So there's a lot of recasking going on in cognac and Armagnac that is not really happening in Scotch. So the problem, and a lot of New York as well. So I'm going to touch on that also. But now I don't want to be too long in the answer. So I would say this. The issues, if it was the question, the issues the French industry will have is that it's still very small. If you gather all the distilleries, even if now some have really increased the production very much, you will still get around 1 million, 0.3 of liters of pure alcohol per year for the whole country.
For the whole combined. So it's basically one medium-sized Scottish distillery produces as much as the 150 active French distilleries.
Exactly. Anthony tells us there's an American single malt in the Calvados finish, made in Arizona. Oh, you have the name? Interesting. Hi, Roberto. Hello to Florida as well. Welcome on board. Okay, so possible whiskey loch, because there are too many distilleries that have opened recently, and they haven't found all, and it's another point I wanted to, they haven't found all their audience, because the audience, the French audience, is still very reluctant to trust French whiskey. For them, whiskey is Scotch, then probably Irish, maybe American. I'm talking about the majority of people, not the geeks like us.
Because France is probably the number one
consumer of blended whiskeys, and second or third of single malts, if I'm not mistaken. And also, the very interesting thing in Menno is to go, every week I'll go to the supermarket, which in fact is a bigger hypermarket, as we say here. And I see people watch the shelves and often ask questions, especially around Christmas or other periods of time where you buy gifts for people. And I see them, they're fascinated by Japanese whiskey, all the kanjis and stuff, even if they don't know that most of it is still, despite the change, the cold change for regulation, they're still sourced outside. But I would say, even with our recent increase of production, we're only having around 6% at export. And the biggest around them is Armoric, with a brand with 10%. So we still have a public to gain in France and abroad. Also, to answer your question, I hope I'm not too long on that, there's a style definition issue. Once you get past of the whiskies and you like, the Armorics, which are basically very Scottish-driven style, the other ones are, let's say, to summarize, of course there are exceptions, wine-based, wine cask-based releases. Once you pass that, there's also newcomers relying too much for me on New York, but once you pass that, when you're trying it blind, maybe you will struggle to say, oh, this is a French whiskey, or this is really something interesting, or this is bringing something to the table. Of course, they're very interesting whiskey. I'm a big fan now of French whiskey. Not all, but I struggled for 10 years to be really interested, aside from the brands I spoke, the Armoric, Glenarmor, etc. But there's a boom now, and there's more. It means more choice. But the thing is, for me, they will struggle. Also, I forgot to mention, sorry, we are among the countries, and probably the country which has the most diverse, I showed pictures, etc. in my video, most diverse choice of stills and different second-hand facilities and stills used. So this also helps to do very varied spirits. Then also we experiment on corn, buckwheat, barley, spelt, and rye. Also we have some distilleries working on different strains of yeasts, barley, production methods, but it's still marginal, the distilleries that are doing things a different way than in Scotland. There are a lot, but it's all boutique distilleries. So I don't know if I answered the question. So for me, if they do not stand out, there are a lot which are also working on sustainability, environmental friendly, But those who will last for me is those who will combine experimentation, quality control, and sustainability over time, bringing a nice core range. Probably it will be the answer for another question of yours also in advance. So what was the question? Sorry, I'm losing track.
Where do you see the future of French whiskey?
Yeah.
Is it still going up, or are we already going down again?
Well, answer will be more simple. I think because we are facing a current crisis towards tariffs and other things, even if, like I said in a video, cognac and Armagnac, mainly cognac, is the first spirit here who's going to be very much impacted and very negatively almost crushed, because 70% of our production of cognac is going to both United States and China. Whiskey is not much exported yet, so it's not a big deal. The problem is we don't drink a lot our own whiskey. So if distilleries continue to flow, to grow and to blossom, and no one buys them, it is 100% sure we're going to see a whiskey law. Like in Scotland, a lot of new distilleries, but Scotland still has a fan base, world fan base. So
that's of course.
I sense, Menno, I sense a future very soon whiskey law. Also, like I said, they have to define themselves. And sorry, I'm gonna answer to the chat soon. So it's quite uncertain. I will be keen to say, to finish, only the most probably clever ones, production-wise, core range, and also price-wise, because a lot of distilleries that are way too expensive, especially some craft ones.
Yeah, because they have a lot of.
Voila, basically. Let me get back to the chat a second, and then I'll let you conclude maybe what you think. Are French suspicious of craft alcohol producers, or just when
it comes to whiskey?
Oh, I'm not sure what that means. Suspicious?
Suspicious if they are wary of going near craft alcohol producers, or they holding back.
Okay, holding back.
The French customers.
I'm afraid that's a great question, Alan, and I'm afraid the answer is general on all spirits because of health issues more generally. Also, we have here a boom. Very good question, Alan. We have a boom here on 0% spirit, so to speak. It's not spirit, imitating real spirits. So we have a lot of companies booming now, producing fake, not fake in the sense of it's not counterfeit, but so-called whiskey with no alcohol, so-called gin, so-called rum, etc. There's a lot of companies out there promoting that, and it was a subject of debate and really also argue in the recent Wine Paris festival. I went last year or earlier on this year, where there was a whole corner of zero spirit, zero alcohol exhibitors. And let me tell you, the wine producers, especially more than the spirits, were absolutely mad on them. But yeah, a very good question. Let me see. Okay, Whiskey del Bac was the one in Arizona with using Calvados cask, right? Thanks, Anthony. Okay. Normandy. Okay. Thank you, Alan. Very kind. So yeah, we took a lot of time maybe on that, but I think it was a big question. I don't know if it's reassuring you or.
Yeah, it's because it's strange, because you talk a lot about French whiskies on your videos, and
I think I have to support. And
yes,
also be
if
critical.
If it's good, we have to talk about it, and if it's bad, we also have to talk about it.
Yeah,
because it could give the impression that France is so big and is such a big market in its own right that maybe it doesn't get as much of the negative effects as Scottish whiskey or whiskey elsewhere is suffering from. But apparently, it's also facing some difficulties, let's say.
Yeah, and again, I think the price is also more than ever an issue. I'll conclude
it's expensive to make, and if you're only making small amounts, then your overhead costs
absolutely
are also crazy. Yeah?
So some brands are honestly making an effort, but there's a lot of, let's say, to remain positive, there's a lot of distilleries which have a kind of involvement as Springbank would have. I might shock people, but I don't mean they have the same quality of Springbank, but they're the same commitment. So I believe that at some point, the struggle is also to have a nice distribution abroad, and many don't have. But if people are following the good ones, that's also why I always say for people complaining, I cannot find your French whiskey. Yeah, but have you tried? I mean, the whiskey exchange, a lot of people from abroad, I know Dustin does, I know other does, they buy whiskey from the US or elsewhere, from big platforms. I'm not paid by Whiskey Exchange or La Maison de Whiskey or anyone else, but you can still find around 40 references, 18 to 20 distilleries. I mean, myself here, if I want to get a very tiny boutique distillery from an obscure place, it's not pejorative, but say it's very tiny, which doesn't have a lot of capacity to do the distribution or convince La Maison de Whiskey, I'm going to also struggle to find it in France. But if you don't try, if you don't trust, you will never know, right? So you will always try Scotch whiskey, and that's it. I know people who only rely on Scotch whiskey, who refuse to drink world whiskey. That's it for another question, I think.
Yes.
Tim says prefer 0.5 over.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, I think we have to move on to blind tasting now. People will leave.
Okay, now it's me that's on the spot with dram number 1.
Dram number 1 is stopped by No Nonsense Whiskey Coin. Shout out to his channel as well. And so I've placed this to show the bottles.
Okay, initially, when I noticed it the first time, it was gently sweet and a bit closed, but
oh my god, I have
acidity.
Yeah, I have this. Maybe it's the plastic of the coin.
There's a hint of
I have
acidity.
an unusual note now that I didn't have. I tried this 3 or 4 times.
It's also a bit malty and grainy on the nose.
Yeah. Honestly, this is one of the whiskeys I really wanted your opinion on it, more than your guess. Of course, it's a sample.
Sweet and sour.
Yeah.
So some acidity, some sweetness.
Because it's a distillery I like a lot, but unfortunately haven't got a lot of expressions. I'm going to prepare a video of the several ones I have soon. Even if there's a bottle, honestly, which is old and I haven't opened yet. For some reason, I don't know why.
I tried it without water on the palate, and it was slightly prickly, but not overly so. So I'm guessing slightly high ABV, but not really.
It's under 50 and over 46. So
yeah, I was thinking 48, 50% somewhere. Yes,
48. Yeah.
I got a bit of a dry, woody texture.
Yeah, I would have liked to have salted caramel that I have from other expressions, but I don't really have.
It's slightly salty.
Yeah.
There's again some fruitiness.
Yeah, I have
a hint of umami I'm getting as well. It's sweet, creamy.
Oh man, I get a lot of herbal notes I didn't expect. Even bitterness from
parsley.
Verbena, maybe? No, not verbena. Oh man, it's not geranium.
It's quite herbal.
Yeah,
geranium?
It's more...
No, it's parsley. Parsley. I'm getting a bit of.
Yeah.
I understand. I understand that it's sort of
like a bit used over standing in the vase, the flowers.
Yeah, Yeah, indeed.
The rotten
like a
flowers.
vase with flowers, indeed. That's the water's going a bit smelly, but not that.
It's not very appealing, right? So far.
No, it tastes better than it sounds. Let's say.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I'm gonna try it. Slanjava people.
Slanja.
Did I give away something? I don't know.
It does become.
Oh yeah, palate is better.
More round on all those things I described. All sort of connect with each other. So
it's a bit tight.
Experience. Yeah.
That's why I like to put a few drops on it. I don't know you. For people coming in now, sorry to interrupt you. For people coming in now, this is the first whiskey I gave the blind sample to Menno. We tried his first before. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I suggest you watch the replay if you can. And also, I give a clue to Menno, and it's funny because it's almost the same answer I got from him. Both our whiskey tasting tonight, we have 3 blind each. Both are around or more of the 300 mark for each. Me, it's 364 euros for the 3 whiskeys bottles. And he's something 290
around 300 as well.
Yeah. I don't know if it helps, but what Anthony says.
Are we in Scotland with this one?
Oh yeah.
The Scottish whiskey.
Okay, what Dustin says. 139 proof.
Ooh.
Oh my God, what is that?
139 proof whiskey. That's a lot of ABV. That's almost 70% ABV.
Yeah. I have a 70% not whiskey yet, by the way. It's from the French. It's not that bottle, but it's the same distillate. It's from distillery, which is in the Auvergne in the center region. Very using clean water and all the stuff. 48% this one. I have a 71.
Are we in the?
Yeah, can you guess an age, a region, or whatever?
I'm thinking either one of the new Lowlanders whiskey or a Highland whiskey.
Oh, very interesting. It is classified as a Highland distillery, and I'm helping you there. Yeah,
age.
I'm reassured now. With tell me.
I would say somewhere around 14, 15 years old.
Oh, it's a compliment.
It's younger?
Any guesses in the chat? No, it's younger than that. It's younger than 14, 15. And I'm going to see if I can show something after that to the audience.
So it's Highland classified, but that suggests it's on the border with maybe Speyside, or it could be an island whiskey.
Haha. One of your 2 answers is correct. You want to know which one? You need help?
Is it an island whiskey?
Yes.
It's an island whiskey. Okay.
Island, I said.
Island.
So no.
But I'm not getting.
You're getting some maritime elements. You said salt, but maybe not much more.
Not much.
Not much more on the that side.
Could be.
Despite it's surrounded by the sea.
I don't think it's Tobermory.
No.
Leaning more towards. Could it be?
It's a box. It's not a tube. I don't know if it helps.
No, not at all. Well, maybe a bit. If it's a tube, I would say that it could be Arran, but it's not Arran then. So could we be in the Orkneys, but not in Highland Park? Marriott Scapa?
Aha. Yes.
You
have the Scapa 10. The new one.
Nice whiskey.
Bring everything there. Don't know if I can show it closer. No. Or just me for a second. Yeah, there you have it. Yeah, it's the Scapa 10. Let me tell you more. I bought it for €60. It's bourbon cask only. First release in 2024. Non-chill filtered. They say very shyly on one side only of the box. Very tiny. But they don't say it on the bottle. And also, there was a big argue about this on the VPub, for those who see the VPub, about if it is natural color or not. And I believe it is not, but I'm not 100% sure. But what I don't like, after having been excited about this release, is that for me, it's a guess, it's just an opinion. For me, they went for dumpy bottle specifically to showcase a darker color. Because as people might not know, the wider the bottle, the darker the color will be. So the glass is like that.
It's a bit paler, yes.
It's a paler, but hey, Sandro.
Cheers,
yeah, thanks for coming there. So yeah, so does it change your opinion on it now that you know what it is or not?
No, it's
so here's the box.
It was an interesting.
Have you tried with water?
Whiskey, and I think it's been. Yeah, I've added a bit of water because I think it develops nicely with a bit of water. It can take it. It's been ages since I tried anything from Scapa. And I know they've been rebranding themselves, putting a bit more of an integrity presentation. A
bit.
A bit.
So there's a 10, there's
higher
a new
ABV,
10, there's a new 16 and 21. I tried all three in the show. This one was more standing out as a good value because the other ones are over €100, 200 and more. And for me, the value is not there. Now I'm going to review. I have already reviewed that on a video with 3 different whiskies, but I'm going to re-review it along with the 16 years old that's unopened, 14 years old, previous one, and the Skiren, no age statement, but also a 2012 years old Gordon MacPhail distillery label bottle. So,
okay.
There's some good and bad for me on this one. On the bad, we touched on the bit, not fainty, but bit weird notes off key, I don't know, off kilter or anyway. But I like also the apricot caramel kind of fruity. It's like it hesitates between fruity, herbal, floral, and pastry. And it doesn't
I like it.
want
And
to choose.
It's got some complexity going on, and it after a while in the glass, it all comes together.
But it's a bit complicated, you know?
Yeah, I like it, but I'm not sure if I really love it. But I would be interested in trying a full bottle to see what it's really about.
So that's exactly what I think. That's why I wanted your opinion. And the rating for this is a 86 with a interrogation mark. So it's not a definitive note. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys. And now, to illustrate something, I'm going to put this bottle down. I'm going to show you something. Not sure it's going to, so I'm going to maybe show me only. Because I didn't have time to answer to, because people didn't seem to believe it. But I'm sorry. It's true. I'm going to show you something. Sorry, Menno, I'm going to pass on full screen for me. If you look at this Malty Whisky yearbook, not yearbook, but companion from Michael Jackson, this is an old edition. This is a, let me check. It's a reprint of 2004, but the initial version is 1989. So Michael Jackson, who was a whiskey and beer writer. So people, it's not he didn't believe me. It wasn't aware of Roy Aquavite. Didn't believe there was a 12, but there was also, if you could see the label on 8 years old there. My box of the 12 years old, I used to have early in my journey. It's not easily available. It's buried under a lot of things, so I'm sorry. But here's a label of the 12. And on the box, there was indeed a Drakkar, a Viking boat, like in the distillery label releases from Gordon MacPhail. That's all I wanted to say. And I really loved that one. It was slightly peated. It was simple, but voila, that's what I wanted to say. I don't know if you knew about that, Menno. There was an 8 years old and then a 12.
I know they used to do a 12-year-old and a 16-year-old. But those have been long discontinued.
Yeah, I would have really liked to have still a 12 years old to compare it, but unfortunately I don't have. Okay, so we got a question of each. We got a. So I think it's probably my turn now to try. What did we said? Yeah, about the peat. Probably you should go first, right? Because let me check again. The blind number 2 of yours.
Yeah, the blind number 2 is peated for you. Yes.
Yeah, it's peated. Mine is a bit peated too, but I think this one is more. So if you don't mind, we're gonna try.
No, we're gonna go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that
it's difficult, people, to. Sorry to interrupt you. People, it's very difficult to do a blind tasting. I love to do blind tasting. I often do that for my friends in organized tasting and stuff. But when you don't know what's the blind of the other person, it's very difficult to do a nice lineup that's coherent from start to finish, right? So we have to improvise to make people guess things, but also for the two people, we have to think which will be the most relevant to continue, right? So,
okay, there's indeed
second,
very, very shy element of peat, but what I'm mostly getting is a woody, oily, slightly dirty note, especially if you nose the third one and then come back.
Oh no, forget the third one. It's another galaxy.
I already wrote down what I think the third one is, but let's not jump ahead of ourselves.
Yeah,
I think.
But this time needs times also.
It's rich.
Yeah,
it's dense.
But the oaky side, the oaky and oily side is already a giveaway of the distillery house style. Let me tell you. With that, I haven't said nothing. How we are, everyone? Have you any guesses of the next one? It's too soon, probably.
It's I'm gonna add a bit of water because I think it's.
Oh, already? Without tasting it neat?
No, I've tasted it neat.
Haha. So cheers, everyone.
Slange.
Okay, I'm gonna taste it neat as well.
With the water I'm getting.
Oh my god. So whiskey I haven't reviewed yet officially. But reviewed, I mean, I will tell you later on exactly what I mean by reviewed.
Okay. It's drying on the palate with the wood note, oiliness.
Bit of peat, right?
Yes. But not necessarily smoke, but just a hint of peat. Earthy.
Yeah. I'm going to open it up as well. We have to, it's what I said in the beginning of the video. I really enjoy what Menno writes and the dedication he puts in presenting first the context and the distillery or company that makes the whiskey. Also, there's a bit of a diary, personal diary with it, which I like.
Thank you.
With water, I mean, it's blossoms like hell or heaven, whether you like it or not.
But I'm lost here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm lost.
Do you are you lost because you're trying to guess what it is, or because you like it too much or hate it too much?
No. I'm lost as I've got no idea where I'm looking at.
Okay.
Could be.
But the point here in this blind testing, like I said in the beginning, is not only trying to guess as a game, but also trying to see, do you like it or not, and why? It's the same for me, by the way, and I really loved the first blind from Menno. It's absolutely fantastic, as Gert would say. And yeah.
I'm not going to show it because people might still want to see it, but the bottle.
Oh,
I would have to say
that was I gotta get me a bottle of this.
It was gifted to me by a fellow Belgian barfly who didn't got along with it, so he gave me the remains of the bottle, and I'm very glad that he didn't like it and gave it to me.
Yeah, it's absolutely what happened with me with the 4 bottles I've been given so far. 3 last year, a very generous gesture by a barfly, which I don't know if I have to quote him here, but I did quote him already in my channel, who gave me 3, 1 Kilkerran 16, 1 Springbank 10, and 1 Longrow 18 he didn't like. I said, come on, are you sure? I said, I only accept that if you accept samples of rare whiskies or stuff from me, and he got some cognacs and armagnacs instead, samples.
When I first tried your second blind, I was thinking it could be Ben Romach, but now I'm not at all sure. I could think it would be maybe their cask strength, their what used to be their 100 proof, but I'm not sure. I think that one is more dense, more heavy even. This is slightly lighter.
Is it pleasant?
I like it, but it's not a whiskey you just sit back. It demands your attention because it's quite busy. It's quite heavy.
I always let it 10 minutes at least in the glass, but not capped. Maybe it's the secret. I did cap it, and it's true it's less pleasant than when it's breathing uncapped. Don't know if you capped it, Menno.
No, I've left them all open.
Okay.
To breathe a bit.
So, do you have an idea before saying from where it is?
I was thinking Ben Romach, but now I'm not. Age, I don't know.
ABV.
ABV, I think it's around 54, 55.
It's more than that.
Okay, then 57.
There you have it. Yeah, it was the Glencadam 21. I didn't say it. No, I'm not going to give you the exact ABV because we talked about that already in private. Not yet, I mean.
Okay.
Any guesses of the...
No. I think it's Speyside with a lot of emphasis on the cask, which
very
leads me to Glenallachie. But I'm probably wrong.
I could have said to you it's a Ben Riach, 18 years old of yesteryear, but I won't say that. What if I were giving you a clue? I don't know if it's... I sent you a lot of samples some time ago, and you did too. We talked about a lot of things, and I don't know you, but when we talk about bottles and then you receive the samples, there's things like, oh, he sent me this, but not that. Oh, too bad. Or maybe I did send it, but differently. I don't know if it helps.
Okay, we've talked about it, and now you've sneaked it into the blinds session. Interesting.
Yes, absolutely. And then I will tell you, what if I was telling you it is not a Scotch? I'm going to jump very quickly. I could have said it's not Speyside, but I don't want to make people wait too much because...
Damn. Because I was thinking the third one was the non-Scotch. Because I know there was one non-Scotch in it, and man.
Greg, I'm not sure I've said that. I think I've said something like...
If it's...
One...
Is it a...
Artesia. No, because the
cask strength.
Wait, sorry.
I don't think it's Wireworks, Alan.
I don't have any Wireworks.
I
haven't
really
tried
I
any,
really love White
unfortunately.
Peak, and I really love Wireworks, but
it's
I don't
not
think
that. It's not that the Tourbet, the latest. No, not latest, but the one just before, which is very nice. This is older.
White. I think this is still relatively young, and it's put in some more active casks.
Oh. But, so give me an age, and I will tell you less or more. Let's say that.
I was gonna say 10 to 12 years old.
More.
Is it a 15-year-old?
Yes.
What could it be? If it's not a Scotch 15-year-old. It's French?
Yes.
Is it from our...
I said you were going to guess.
Whiskey Breton?
Absolutely.
And it's the cask strength version of the Armory.
Absolutely.
Previous expression.
2022. I'm going to show it from closer. Just a sec.
That's very nice.
It's natural color, non-chill filtered. It's the 15 years old, exclusively made for the club of the distillery. So distillery exclusive, but you can get it online. Probably also from abroad, just saying. So here you can see there's only 150 bottles, 150 bottles. It's voilà, 59.1 ABV. It has it's bourbon and sherry matured, mainly bourbon and then sherry. It has probably over 15. I don't have the breakdown, unfortunately, of this, but I've heard older cask on it, like the 15 regular, because the 15 regular from 22 has 17 years old plus potentially cask in it. Why is it interesting for me? It's because it's from the time where, before 2012, Armoric, aka Varangem Distillery from Brittany, had a lot of peated casks. So, thanks. I don't know if you know anything from Armoric, but yeah, because we talked about it with Menno, and I did send him the where it is. Another 15, the one with the blue label. This one is green.
Yeah, the one from 2023.
And yeah, and he liked it so much that he bought. Yeah, that he bought the bottle after that. But this one I didn't send it officially, so it is now
sneaky.
Yeah, but I was sure you were curious about it. So
yes, very curious.
But I don't know if you prefer this to the other. I have the impression
I think I like the. It's also based on a sample. I would put them head to head, but it's really different from the more common 46%.
But they have something in common. I don't know you with some dark chocolate, but also some leafy elements, mentholy almost elements. And there's something there that reminds me, for me, about the old Bunnahaven. Like I said, 20 to 30 years old, indie, especially bottlings of Bunnahaven that I've tried. So this one really, I'm really crazy about this one, but it is also true that it is changing, and it's difficult to assess it. The neck pour was dusty and tight and not very good. I was very worried. And then it started to develop. Each tasting, it's getting better and better. I'm on this now level. So yeah, this one is, I'm going to review it also. But for me, it's over 90, 92.
I have a bit left in the
sample.
You
have to take your time and get back to me, please. Me, I love it. I'm in love with it. And
the fact that I first thought it was Ben Romack 100 proof.
Right, it's a compliment.
Says a lot about. It's a big compliment because that's one of my favorite expressions I think of all time.
Are you surprised, public, the audience? What do you think, guys? Anyway, this one, if you're interested, you have my notes in last week's. I was afraid you were watching it, to be honest. It's last week's not impromptu completely, but test live.
No,
test.
I had to leave early, so I didn't get.
Good. Because I reviewed that, and then I went to Springbank 12, and then I compared the Springbank 12 with the Benromach 9. I'm going to review both, but it was too tempting, and I really had a nice time comparing the two. It was absolutely a blast to try two beautiful Springbank Real and Springbank of the North Benromach. By the way, I'm going to apply, and I encourage you to, Menno and everyone in the chat, I'm going to apply to Benromach Champions this year. Let me tell you. So I hope to be selected, but good luck to everyone as well. For those who don't know that very interesting experience, go to see a channel I also like a lot, The Whiskey Enthusiast with Sertük from Turkey. Who was the champion last year, along with two other people. He was selected, and he had a blast there, trying a lot of things in cask, distilling himself, signing a cask, and also had a preview of upcoming releases before they were out for the world. So really something you should... Now for Sheldon, which asked me about that, and also Alan, I really recommend rather the 15 regular or even the 10, but the 10 is way more Space ID and less French, if I may say.
It's really a good quality. I mean,
but that's great stuff. Yeah. Bye-bye. Thanks, Alan. We talk again in private soon. Because Alan is coming to France, so there might be an occasion to see him while he's transiting few days in Paris next month, where behind the scenes we're talking about that. Right, so there you have it. So it's in Brittany there, for those who don't know, in the dark north of this. I did a review about other armorics. Check them out if you're interested. It's the pioneer French whiskey back into 1987 and mostly 1998 first single malt. And not the oldest. I will review a new batch of the oldest, 21 years old, from a distillery I didn't have the time to speak. Distillery des Menhirs, distillery of the Standing Stones, which makes the Edu, which in Breton language means buckwheat, because it's the first ever whiskey in the world, as I understand it, and one of the only that's using mainly a buckwheat for its production. Ah, cool. Hi, JV. JV has a bottle of Armoric 10, was presently surprised. One of my favorite bottles I got all year. Yeah. You can ask also to...
Absolutely.
To Leon of Malt Mariners in his English channel. His if you want to pick...
so that's the classic or the sherry finish?
A purple bottle with a funky design. Might be an exclusive or maybe that whiskey boutique. Yeah, it is Breton, of course, as well.
Yeah. Whiskey Breton, Brittany whiskey.
Yours is probably that boutique whiskey company, because they are very ahead of their time, bottling stuff that we don't know yet from very remote distilleries sometime. Okay. So where we at? We have a question now. Is it yours or mine's? In mine, maybe. Yeah, my turn, let's say. It will be easier and shorter than mine, I think. Are you ready?
Yes.
Well, you know already the question, but I wanted to know... oh, yeah, I forgot the first question. Sorry.
No,
the first question is maybe longer. I asked you this question last year, my friend. How is the Belgian whiskey scene now? Is something new, something...
Well, it's sort of the same, I think.
Blossoming also, new distilleries? Or?
There's, well, if you were to go to any whiskey festival in Belgium, you would say it's blossoming because it's always packed with people. So there's a lot of interest in whiskey, and in the last few years, there's also been a bit of interest in Belgian whiskey, which used to be quite poor in terms of quality. No, in terms of quality or things to be very excited about. But then we had the two first ones, the Belgian Owl and Carolus, the Anchor, and they've really, I think, put the bar a bit higher, and sort of led the way for others. And then we have, which was probably our biggest Genever distillery, Villers, in the East Flanders region,
which has in the Whiskey Exchange. Sorry, they sell it there in several. Even I think La Maison de Whisky has a, which is new.
And they're also, because they did a 10-year-old, Villers did a 10-year-old, I think 3 years ago, which was still relying a lot on the casks to do the heavy lifting. But then just last year they did and Gert really liked them. I haven't tried them yet. A 15-year-old and a cask strength expressions, which are said to be really good. So I'm quite eager to try these.
Yeah, I wanted to say also, you sent me 3 over time. Oh, it's gonna be hard. It's glowing. Good and Carolus, you send me 3 samples of it. Thank you. It's I really like, because it's a beer. It's a brewery first. Are you going to tell me that?
Yeah, it's a brewery first. Yeah.
And I really like the 3 samples you offered me, especially the latest, the Madeira.
The Madeira,
even
is
if
also...
I guess it's beerish, it's yeasty, but it's very funny. And I love Madeira.
It's weird.
I let you talk. Sorry.
No, the Gala Carolus or Het Anker sort of reminds me a little bit of the Little Mill style of whiskey, with a lot of grassy floral notes, but also a bit of yeasty elements. And that's because I think could be one of the reasons is they use the wash they use for their beer. They also use for their whiskey, so it's probably used with beer.
You can sense yeast. That.
So, and that probably reflects in the whiskey as well. And they're doing some interesting things in recent years. So the Madeira casks, they now have as a core range the standard releases, which is matured in ex-bourbon and ex-beer casks, which they
the
get from Portugal.
I showed then it nice too.
Yeah, and then they have a peated version, a sherry version, this Madeira version, a port cask version, and then each year they do a limited anniversary release to celebrate the anniversary of the distillery. And there was the cognac. I think I sent you a sample of that one as well. The cognac was one from 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, interesting.
And you said Het Anker is the name of the.
Yeah, the Anchor. Yeah, and they're located in Mechelen. And there used to be 2 different locations. So they had a brewery in the center of Malines, in the city halfway between Antwerp and Brussels. And then the distillery was located in a small village of some 8 kilometers from Malines. But then last year they decided to relocate the distillery into the buildings of the brewery, because the distillery is so small they couldn't mature the whiskey on site, so they had to pump all the new make into big tanks, put it into lorries, and then transport it to the distillery to mature them there. So they decided to just, for cost efficiency, again an issue in Belgian whiskey as it is in French and Scotch.
It's funny,
Scotch
but
whiskey.
Almost the same story, Menno, than Artesia TOS distillery, because they were a brewery and now they're a distillery also. And they're getting rid of the brewery part. They sold their share of it, but it's the brother, from brother to brother. So we still have a link. But Stéphane, which I interviewed on my channel, one of the co-owner with Cathy, the distiller, they want to do, because they have the experience to brew themselves and distill what they brew. So they're going to do the whole thing, but it takes a full amount of time and money.
Yeah, and
so. But it's the same.
It will, and now it becomes. Now it's getting. It will be interesting to see what the future holds, because a few months ago, the entire enterprise, so the brewery as well as the distillery, was sold to the company that owns Delirium Tremens. So the Belgian beer with the pink elephants on the label, they now own the brewery and the distillery. So it will be interesting to see. And they really emphasized that they were absolutely not concerned about the future of the beer and the whiskey, because it's also the Delirium Tremens is also a family run business with a lot of tradition. So they were quite confident that the traditions and the name they've built with their beer and their whiskey will not be will be in good hands.
Okay, what is weird is that at the same time I have the chance I told you at the Wine Spirits Festival here to meet the people from the Maretsu distillery for the first time, a newcomer in French scene. But they told me, to my big surprise, because I know their beer, I have a glass, printed glass with their beer, they're getting rid of the beer part. So it's the reverse. They sold the beer part, but they keeping the abbey to do distilling there. They also sell and produce herbal, herbal, not tea, but for infusions. They growing different kinds of herbs. They have a kind of botanical. It's a bit like Lindor's, I think. But also they're focusing on distilling gin now, 3 or 4 different gins plus single malt whiskey. Oh, hello, Hanging Izad. Good to see you there. Hope you're well. So may I ask, I don't know if you have the info, but how many distilleries would you say making whiskey you have
now
in Belgium?
They're about 45 to 50 at the moment, I'd say. But you have to take into account that a lot of them are also still at craft or boutique level. So I would say if you were looking at, there's I think about 5 more or less bigger ones. So, and that includes the Owl, Het Anker, which we just talked about, Villers, who are interesting, have a lot of Villers have about 150 years of tradition of making Genever. But are now serious because Genever doesn't sell anymore, apparently. So they're now actually thinking about dropping distillation of Genever and only focusing on gin and whiskey, because that's where they can still make some profit.
But they were one of the oldest, right? Making.
There's one of the oldest ones, indeed. Yeah. So that's the 3 big ones: the Owl, Het Anker, and Villers. And then in the Walloon, in the French-speaking part region, there's Wave Distill, who are in Dinant, who are actually doing some pretty exciting things. And I think that's about the 4 big ones, but still quite small compared to Scotch whiskey. And then there's a lot of craft distilleries. There's Bruges Whiskey Company, who are making a name for themselves, also trying different stills, like doing experiments with coffee infused casks, or with Belgian oak, which really makes the whiskey expensive, because there's only about so much. I think it's 20 casks of Belgian oak they make each year. So it's
Have you tried some of these?
No. Yes, I've tried a few of them at festivals, and
is it
good and promising. Good and promising, but not all of them are quite there yet. I mean, I'm happy to buy anything from the Owl and Gouden Carolus or Het Anker, because they've really managed to make a name for themselves in terms of quality. The others, I would suggest, are still at a try before you buy level. Some can be really good. I mean, Braakman is also, they do a lot of things with single grain.
I heard that.
Are doing some interesting things and can be really good, but also quite mediocre at times, in my opinion, of course. So
I forgot to say bye-bye to Sheldon. Thank you very much for coming. May I ask, I risk a question of, would you say it the same? Maybe you don't know. Of what you know, maybe would you say it's the same situation in Netherlands, because there's the same share of making Genever, right, and making rye, maybe more than Genever, but I don't know if
there's a few, and of course Zaandam or Millstone for their whiskey, making a long tradition of making
Thanks for samples,
Genever.
Menno.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful Genever, I recommend, and beautiful whiskeys.
Yeah, unfortunately, the founder, Fred van Zaandam, who's Patrick's father, just recently passed away last week. So.
Oh man! Oh really? Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
But they're making some really good stuff. Excellent rye, excellent whiskey, excellent Genever. Yeah. And then they're probably the ones that are leading the way, and a lot of them are we see a lot of new whiskeys. Clay from Rotterdam is
very distinctive.
Very distinctive.
Packaging.
Then there's Buzz, there's Vink, there's quite a few others.
Okay.
So Dutch whiskey is probably going places as well. But much like the situation in Scotland and France for different reasons, but the result is the same. The hype seems over. So everybody who's still in the whiskey game but still needs to make a name for themselves, still has to brand itself and build its audience, might face some difficult times, I'm afraid.
Well, thank you very much, Menno, for that. Also, I want to say that if you're interested by Belgian and Netherlands whiskey, jump up to the Menno's blog, Big Malty Mission, because it's regularly reviewing those kinds of bottlings. So even if you can get hold of them, I know, me too, at least you can have an idea of what the production in those countries are through Menno's website. So go check it out, guys. Okay, where we are at second sample of yours for me, right? It's there because there was a smoky level issue. It's not an issue, but
this is the one where I think I'm interested in what you think of it.
Okay. But again, do you think I was right to put mine before yours, even if the ABV is not?
No. This is quite outspoken, I think.
Okay. Let's go. So, cheers, everyone. Hoping you're still there and you find it interesting. Don't hesitate to comment, or if you have questions for us. Now that we are less, we're gonna speak again about all those all things whiskey, but between the tastings and between those questions, you can ask my guest or me. Okay, this one, when I poured it and we discussed off cam, I said, "Oh my, it is smoky, but I don't sense it is peated." Maybe I'm wrong, because there's something funky that reminds me of. I've wrote a bit of things of translation, because sometimes I get beech tree or birch tree smoking. I would say it's a guess. I don't know. So unless I go differently on the palate, on my mind. By the way, the previous one, your blind, the Glencadam, was a 43, right? Or 46?
46.
Okay, I have a doubt. Thanks. Okay, so the nose for me is a bit funky. There's some kind of not burnt tire. No. Something a bit faint here, I would say. There's something weird I struggle to identify. But I have capped this. Now that it's uncapped, the funky note starts to get away a bit, and something more pleasant is coming in, which for me betrays an estery maturation with some bourbon cask, maybe some white wine or a sweet wine.
Interesting.
Very curious. I cannot say anything about the location so far. I'm thinking of Sweden right away. Hey, hi Des. Good to see you.
Hi Des.
Yeah, but you know what, Anthony? I think I sense more when I put that song off. I don't know you. Okay, I'm gonna jump on the pallet. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, Menno.
Thanks.
Wow. Oh yeah, I remember you said old Scotch. You should have said that. Oh. Hello. Bye bye. Good night.
Good night.
Cute.
Way past your bedtime.
Okay. Lecheg. I'm gonna snipe that. Yeah, thanks, Anthony. Gonna snipe Lecheg. Is it the Sinclair? No. Wait a minute. No. But there's a wine cask involved.
There is some sort of wine casks involved, yeah.
Oh. Is it a Lecheg?
No.
Oh, good.
No.
I like to be challenged. Yeah, so it's a Scotch, we said that.
Yes.
Is it a Highlands distillery?
It is not Highland Distillery.
Islands. Highlands,
nope.
Islands.
No.
Wow. Oh, it's an Edredar, a Ballichin. Then.
No, we're not in the Highlands. Edredar is a Highland whiskey, I think.
It's a Speyside.
Nope.
Edredar, no?
No, Edredar is in the Highlands. It's near Blair Atolls. But
sorry. My bad. So it's a Speyside?
No, it's not a Speyside.
Oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna snipe again. It's a Longrow Red.
And you're running out of bullets, Greg. It's not. We're not in Campbelltown either.
Oh no. You see, I'm struggling.
Yeah,
so you can make fun of me.
This is a difficult one. Not only to
is
guess,
it a is it a region from which we're used to have peated whiskey or not? I mean, is it a lowlands?
It's not known for its peated whiskies.
So lowlands.
We're in the lowlands.
Oh, I cannot think of a Glasgow distillery stuff. Is it Glasgow distillery?
Nope, it's not Glasgow distillery.
And then you're gonna trick me and tell me it's a peated Lindors.
But no, it's not. It's actually one of the oldest distilleries in Scotland.
Oh,
especially in the lowlands.
1772. It's a Little Mill.
No.
Can't
it's
be.
18. No, it's an active distillery, but it's early 19th century. And we're in the lowlands.
It's a collector from yesteryear.
Nope. It's a very recent
active, you said.
Release.
Lowlands. Oh my god. Do you think if I know this, I've tried this distillery?
I'm pretty sure you've tried this distillery, but this is quite a weird expression from them. That's why I wanted to put it in there.
Yeah. I have a distillery, bottle from this distillery.
I don't know if you have currently a bottle from them.
I cannot say if I like it or don't like it.
Same with me.
People are Roberto. Hi, Roberto, and Anthony are risking Bladnoch, but I cannot recognize Bladnoch either. And you're gonna say it's Bladnoch?
No. You want me to say which distillery it is?
No. Last.
Let's just say, what do you think about the age? Let's start there.
Oh yeah. Good question. Let me try it again. Oh, it's young. 5, 4, 6, not more.
Interesting.
No, it's older.
Nope, it's older.
Older?
Older, yes.
8?
Older.
Oh my God, it's very short. Yeah, it's not a 12. Ah, you lost me completely on this one. I have no idea, honestly. You tricked me well there.
Yes.
Bravo. But it's not bad. There's something you have to get acquainted to it.
Yes, it's a bit funky. It's a bit weird. It's a bit. I think it spent a bit too much time in the oak casks in which they finished this whiskey, or it has been matured on this.
But you said, yeah, we didn't find. I didn't find yet the finish. It's a finishing, right? Which make it weird.
No, it's mostly matured in specific. It's not a finish per se.
It's not Glenkinchie. It's impossible.
No, it's not Glenkinchie.
No. Bladnoch, what do I know? Inverleven, it's closed. I'm a bit lost because I don't see the map on my. I don't have any. No, I give up. Clydeside, I think he said no.
No. Still,
it's too young.
It's too
okay, I give up. You won. You won me, Menno. Congrats. Bladnoch. Oh my God. Yeah, often Pushen would have been a guess. But what kind of Bladnoch is that?
It's I don't know if you can read this, but it's Amontillado sherry cask.
That was peated, doing the Amontillado and peated. Oh my God.
So it's a really weird combination.
Super tricky. What's the ABV on this?
It's 46.7. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a
recent
14-year-old. Yeah, it's a 2023 release.
No, I haven't tried it.
No, I'm really struggling with this one. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I absolutely hate it.
Now, I understand why we are in the same position. I think it's because there's an acidulous side on the Amontillado sherry that I don't like. If it's not engineered well, and I think the peat aspect makes it even
more pronounced.
Yeah, and I think it was not the best, the cleverest. It's not English cleverest. It's not the most clever combination I would have gone for. Me, I would have gone for a sweet wine, not PX, sweet white wine, and then peat. I think would have been better. But who am I? Okay, but it's interesting. I like experiences also.
It's not a
that honestly absolutely unguessable for me.
Yeah, I would have never. If I
well done.
Know this bottle, I would never have guessed it. This was a Bladnoch. It's not like other Bladnochs I've tried.
Can we say un partout then? If I may say, or something like that. Very good. Thank you. It's something. I mean, it's like the Sleers Amontillado. Some people hate it. I like it, but I don't have a bottle to. But it's weird. Yeah, very weird as well. Okay, very good. Interesting. We're now on the second question from you, I think. And after the next whiskey, it would be another question from me. Okay, so I'm hearing you.
Okay, I had a quick question about other non-scotches. We discussed the situation in France, but are there other European distilleries that excite you?
I hear you, but I forgot to search for a bottle there. Yes. I'm interested in other European distilleries, right? You said, right?
Yep, correct.
So I had, where are they? Okay, I think I have the 3 and 4 sample. So which European distilleries excite me? I would say there are several. I'm gonna, I forgot another one. Wait a minute, sorry. I cannot think of everything having 30, 40 bottles before me, right? This one is tricky because it's blocking comic books about whiskey. Okay, I didn't want them to fall. I will show you 4 bottles, go-to from me, and then quote others. Oops, I got the 4 now before me. Okay, quick. I'm interested in basically, I'd say 10 or 12. And there are some I'm interested in I haven't tried yet. But on the paper, based on your people, and including you, your opinion, I'm interested to try them. I divided that into 4 categories plus the unknown ones. Well, one is unknown, but I have 2 samples I still haven't opened. Those with it can be the 4 categories can be intertwined. Those with a strong identity and craftsmanship. So I put there, in fact, Smogen from Sweden, which I haven't, nothing except 2 samples. And I see bottles in our market, but very expensive. Yeah. So I'm waiting for maybe a discount, like I have sometimes, to buy me one.
Yeah. Occasionally I see a Smogen on auction sites and I'm ready to snipe, but then on the last half hour the price keeps jumping up and jumping up. So I only tried Smogen or Smogen from a single malt whiskey society.
Okay.
Scotch Malt Whiskey Society.
Do they pick
they
something
did a release
nice?
And I tried it at the festival. It was absolutely lovely.
Wow. And we, like you, probably we're all, and some people in the chat, we're all reading critics' reviews from Serge Valentin from Whiskey Fun. Hello, Serge. And this seems good. I think Decadent Drum just released something 8-10 years old that has a 90 plus rating from Serge. It's absolutely mind-blowing. I know. Aside from that, we'll say, of course, Zuidam. I mean, the tasting pack I was offered by a Netherlands friend was absolutely stunning, especially the 12 years old Oloroso and the 100% dry. And I have a sample from you that I think will be great as well. Other distillery Stoning, I have only a sample there, but I tried probably 10 or 12 sessions from them. Very interesting, very experimental. 26 or 28 small stills. This is crazy. Also Dingle at a certain extent, despite relying a lot heavily on cask driven releases, so hit or miss. But the core range, the one Bourbon and PX, I think, is a nice. I think it's a nice one. Other than that, in the same category, I think it's all those experimenting with care and craft. Where it's almost the same. Newcomers for us. Again, it's Sweden and England. I don't know why, especially those countries, but Agitator from Sweden, I think they do things interesting. I have a blend from them. Also, it's true they're relying a lot on oak, chestnut oak, etc. But I think there's encouraging release. Holyrood, I tried 2 out of the 3 or 4 that were released. I tried the 4 new makes at Whiskey Life Paris. I find them very interesting. The new makes, probably all the releases are not 100% successful. I'm impressed that the recipes are involving often 4 or 5 types of malted barley in terms of roasted, etc., crystal malt and chocolate malt, etc. But there are also about 10 different yeast strains. Like, I don't know who reviewed that recently, but I think it was a pretty relevant, probably again Sertug from the Whiskey Enthusiast, probably too complex recipe. And maybe they're not obliged to do something as complex as that to achieve their goal. I heard the pitch was probably one of the best, a new release. Fielden, which was previously called Oxford Artisan Distillery,
yes.
which I discovered, an English distillery I discovered a few years ago with Oxford Rye, and now they have the Fielden brand, which are more coherent, I think, releases. Whiskey Life Barrier, try them. Also, those sourcing high quality casks. Again, Millstone, beats everyone with their 40, 50 years old or so, really matured and not seasoned casks. I think you will agree with that. And of course, the Lakes who did beat in a show for me here in France, who did literally crushed Macallan, who had another stand at the same show.
And it's maybe I should the English version of Macallan that makes it really interesting.
But, well, of course, one of the I think the master blender has changed, but before that he was Macallan.
It's now
came from Macallan.
And the current one is also it's a woman. She also comes from Macallan.
Voila. But maybe with the regulations in England, maybe they thought a bit like Mark from Waterford, but I'm not sure he succeeded in that. No puns, please. Maybe they sensed the regulation were looser and they have more freedom to work. I don't know, but I tried only 3 or 4, but they were all excellent and very gourmet, beautiful wine sherry mix. So who else? Those with a refined, subtle, and rather complex side. It was another category. On that, I will first I will quote is Spirit of Yorkshire with the Filey Bay, which I'm a big fan of what they do. Not only for the packaging, because at the end of the day, the most important is inside. But very subtle. This one is very impressive. It's the Sherry Cask Reserve number 3, batch 3, with Fino only sherry cask. Very subtle. Another kind of take. Oh, no problem, Anthony. Appreciate you came by. Cheers. See you another time.
Dropping in, Anthony.
And everyone, there's often the replay. Staying in England, Cotswolds, even if I haven't bought more than 2 releases, this and the bourbon cask strength, thanks to a sample from, where is it? My friend Toby from Whiskey Shared, who helped me enjoy that. And then I bought the bottle. It's often like that, like I said. You send me something, I say, I want a bottle, and vice versa. High Coast. I'm a big fan as well. Probably the Swedish distillery, which is the closest to be honest, the Scottish style.
Yeah, Scottish style.
Whiskey. This one also was a bargain when they launched it in France. It's a disclaimer, in French, we have only 70 CL expressions. I know that online, on the website and other places, it's only 50 CL.
Yeah.
But when I saw this lightly peated with mainly bourbon for €39 at 48%, unchill, filtered, and colored, say, come on. So
it's a no-brainer.
It's a great. It's not that far from. I see my bottle there, from the double cask of Glen Scotia, believe me or not. But it's that quality. So beautiful. There are also closed distillery which change names and change also brand plus indie bottlers' names. So it's getting hard to follow.
Keep track, yeah.
Yeah, so Gritty Tan, which became Bergslagens, and then Lindell, something like that now. Have you tried some?
No. I know Frederick really liked those whisky as well, yeah.
Do you have news from Frederick, by the way? Completely disappeared,
no,
the channel, everything?
I think
Such a good guy. No news? Oh, too bad.
No news.
This one is also from the art collection. I reviewed it, Madeira Cask 2019, 53% ABV. I should have sent you sample. Yeah, you're gonna kill me now. It's a 50 cl. It's the only bottle I will have probably. I call it Brora from the north of Europe.
That's
mini Brora. It's a Madeira bomb. It's absolutely crazy, funky, and wow! It's a wow bottle. I'm gonna put those down. So yeah, lots of exciting new distilleries. So I think the future is bright for European whiskey. There's also the question. I don't want to be too long and bore our audience, but the two things that are very important, I think, right now, one more than the other. I don't have all the answers. One thing is the English Whiskey Association is trying to put up a definition of what is English whiskey. And there are a lot of issues because they want to make sure, and I fully understand that it includes the fact that the distillery would potentially be able to source malted barley and the malting operations from another facility than the distillery. And many and the current talk for the regulations, some of the key people in there absolutely don't want that. And it's a problem from a lot of distilleries there, which we also have that in France, where they don't want to comply to regulations because, for instance, Northman, which I work with, is malting his barley. They're growing their own barley, but they're malting it in Belgium. So
yeah, there's one or two big malting.
The other issue, sorry to interrupt you, is and you know that I think already. I'm not sure about everything, so I'm not going to short on that. Is the fight for I don't know where it comes from, if it's the AU regulations or the Northern America or the United States. The fact that they want to ban the use of rye whiskey in European
rye,
whiskey.
it's because we have apparently a trade agreement with Canada that suggests that the word rye should be left exclusively to Canadian whiskies, which is kind of silly, as a lot of Canadian whiskies aren't actually rye whiskies anymore. So
voila, thanks to explaining that to the audience, because the problem is rye whiskey in Canada doesn't have the obligation, believe me or not,
of having any rye in it.
Voila. Crazy, isn't it? What do you think of that?
Yeah.
But let us know in the chat if you know more about that and what you think.
But they just have to be creative with it. I know a few distilleries are already saying it.
Because they are in France, we have some distillery. The one I didn't want now call to mention,
it malted rye whiskey or whiskey made from rye or whatever, or just use the original name.
So you have the yellow bottle, the Domaine des Hautes Glaces, which I have nothing yet in my collection because some of the work is a bit funky, a bit difficult for me to herbal. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Frederic. And also, they went from 70 to 50 cl, and the price is not that interesting either. Sorry again. Now, that said, there's an expression I like a lot, which is beautiful. I didn't manage to buy, but because it was a 10 years old, sold at 200 euros. And I said no. C'est la vie. Voilà. I think we're done with that.
Okay.
So we had my second whiskey, your second whiskey. Let me try nose yours and see if. What do you think? You have nosed mine?
Yes.
What do you think should come first, yours or mine? Based on the nose.
Well, I know that number 3 from your blind is my favorite of.
Oh, okay.
Evening. And
okay, let's go. Maybe for yours then, or
okay.
What do you think is more powerful from yours to my number 3 to make it fair? What should go first?
You go ahead. I've been. You go ahead.
Okay, so with yours or with mine? Tell me.
You can go first, and I will.
Oh, okay. Oh, beautiful nose. There's something familiar immediately. There's something also herbal, but maybe more floral than herbal. I sense a lot of nice powdered sugar, vanilla, pastry topping. Like I said, glaçage de millefeuille. A lot of people can relate to that now. Again, I wonder if I don't know the distillery. The nose is beautiful.
I will say this. It's an indie release from a bit of an under the radar distillery.
Okay. I might know it.
And I really, really, really love it when it comes in a bourbon cask.
Okay.
This one is not a bourbon cask, as you may have guessed from the color.
Yeah, it's a bit darker.
Yeah, but nonetheless, I really think this is an excellent whiskey.
Okay, the nose is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But based on what you say now, I would say maybe it's not such an old whiskey then. Because with that color, it could have been bourbon, right? With 20, 30 years old.
Yeah, it's fair. Okay, then take a guess at the age, if you...
Well, I want to try the palate first.
Yeah.
It's difficult with the nose only, but I should be able. Okay, let's play the game on the nose. 15 on the palate. Probably, I will see. Ooh, it's a high ABV. 55. Correct. You said something like 55, no? That's very light, which suggests either a very old whiskey with a very low ABV or a very well-made young whiskey with that high ABV. So as we know, it's 55 or 54.
It's a bit higher, in fact.
Yeah. So you said indie bottling, right? So I have to guess the bottler and the distillery?
No. Let's not do the bottler. Let's...
Okay. But you know, bottlers have their style as well, right? I don't know if you agree with that.
This is a single cask, in fact.
So. Okay, I will struggle anyway to find a bottler there. I would go for some bottler from Belgium, Netherlands, or not necessarily Scottish, but indie bottler. I don't know.
It is a Scottish indie bottler.
No, bien fait pour moi. Blame me. Whiskey Broker, I like this one so much. A Whiskey Broker, they do. You shouldn't say that because it's so tiny amount of bottles. I can't get hold of it. I only tried 3. They were all ace. Even a 36 years old Cameron Bridge that blew my mind. While we said it's not a biggest grain distillery, but when they know how to bottle that select cask. Okay, enough. There's something I like a lot that relates to kind of Grand Marnier / orange liqueur, Cointreau.
In the sweeter
sweet wine, probably a sweet wine involved there. Am I correct? Cask, sweet wine cask, finish or full?
It says finish on the label.
Okay. Is it just called VDN or is it the type of is indicated? The type of wine?
No. It's it says which type. It's not French wine in any case.
Oh, thanks. Tokay?
No.
Oh.
It's fortified wine.
There's something very good there because it doesn't have for me a wine style. Well, we can guess it has the richness, pastry richness of most probably a sweet wine cask, but kudos to them not to make this come across as winey, right? At least without water. Now, do you think the palette matches the distillery house style, or is it impossible to guess?
It's
honestly.
I really,
I don't know.
as said, this is not a bourbon cask matured, and I really love this distillery for their bourbon cask whiskey. Although it is difficult to find official releases from them, it's very much a workhorse. Distillery.
Because I would be tempted to say Glenlossie because I love port.
Oh, you're
finishes.
actually dangerously close.
Glenlivet?
No, even closer.
Closer in territory? I'm not sure about that. It's a Glen. It's what you mean?
It is indeed a Glen. No, it's not a Glen. I'm sorry.
Oh. It's a Ben?
No, it's not.
Oh, Linkwood. Linkwood.
No, good guess, but also no. But
oh man, it's as subtle as Linkwood and Glenlossie for me, and as gourmet as that. Let me put a few drops, and I will guess. So you said I will 15 years old? No, I don't know.
Yes, very close. 14 actually.
Okay, 14. I cannot say. I have no idea. It's a Speyside.
But you actually already said it without knowing that you said it when you mentioned one distillery.
I mean, for the other bottlings, or
no, it's.
Longmorn. No.
It reminds me a bit of Longmorn. It reminds me a bit of Linkwood, but you already said Glenlossie. It's not Glenlossie.
Oh.
But it's really close to Glenlossie. I mean, really close to Glenlossie.
No, I don't have the map anywhere, so. You mean on the map, or?
No, I mean.
Oh, Glentockers?
No.
Oh, man.
It's actually a distillery that's on the same side as Glenlossie.
Yeah, but I went to Speyside, but I didn't visit everything, and I don't have a map on hand. So, okay, I give up.
It's Menno, which is on the same side as Glenlossie distillery.
Okay, I didn't figure out of that.
So, Finn Thompson, 14-year-old, and it's been finished in American oak Pedro Jimenez cask.
Oh. I wouldn't have guessed the finishing.
58% ABV.
Oh, that's a beautiful whiskey. Thank you.
Yes.
It reminds me a bit of with the extra pastry side of the beautiful one you sent me prior to that. With bourbon only, right? Cask strength. Last year, I don't have it there. It's on the. Yeah. What was it? Do you remember? It was an indie bottling or official store pick?
From which distillery?
Menno. You sent me a beautiful.
It was from Single Malts of Scotland. Yeah, it was an 11-year-old bourbon, and I really love more in a bourbon cask. This is
a revelation if they can do that with this. This a beautiful work. What kind of bottler is that?
Finn Thompson.
Yeah, but can you tell us more about this bottler? I've not heard a lot of things. It's a Scottish one.
Yeah, I think it's a Scotch.
It's very tiny. It's not present in.
No, they're really quite small scale, but apparently
it's present in Belgium.
Their family has been into Scotch for generations. Okay. So here some more information. Originally a refill hogshead, was 12-year-old, and then they finished it for 18 months in a Pedro Jimenez cask. And I think Finn Thompson is like 6th or 7th generation family working the Scotch. industry, but
Amazing.
the name Finn Thompson is the current owner of the company, and I think it's a relatively new indie bottler. I think they've been around for 10 years or so.
I've never heard of them before. Maybe I saw the name somewhere, but never seen them on La Maison du Whisky.
Born of 9 generations.
Wow.
It says on the label. So people with a lot of pedigree and background into
and
Scotch whisky industry.
Experience to bottle that like that.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to them because it's delicious. There's a pastry side, but there's respect for the distillery character. I have to confess, I don't know well this distillery. I haven't. I have probably 97 distilleries of Scotland represented in my collection, but I don't have this one.
No, it's more is under the radar, and a lot of people ignore it.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit. if you try the bourbon cask mature, if you like Glencadam, then you will probably also like Menno. It's the same delicate, slightly floral, slightly grassy, herbal, sweet orchard notes.
But going on. If you come there, please remind me, or I will note this down. So. I have some left. I had to sample it in, 20 cl or 10. When I come or when you come visit me or vice versa, I have to make you try the Glenlossie 10 years old Portwood cast strength Chieftains Ian MacLeod bottling, because it's a beautiful one and it has a lot of similarities, pastry notes wise, like this,
as well.
While it is not the same makeup. So surprise. Very good. I like this a lot. Merci beaucoup.
I am nursing this bottle. It's been open for well over a year, but I only go back to it because I don't want to run out of it.
I know that feeling, my friend. Have you tried other things from them?
I've tried at festivals, but these are not cheap. I think this one was I paid close to 100 for it.
100 only?
And the official price is 20 or 30 more.
Because honestly, I don't know you, but I think it's a very fair price. 14 years old, 58% ABV. I think it's a fair price. If you find me one, I'm interested. Menno is no, we shouldn't say that. Is a provider of nice things now for me. This KK8, for instance. Thank you again. Well, that's fantastic. So I have another question. It is my second one, right? Yeah. You asked me 2 questions. I have a second one. And after the next whiskey, probably we have 2 questions in a row. I don't know where we at. Yeah. Are we still with me, people? Is it interesting? You have questions? Let me know. I don't see the chat move, so I hope all is okay for you guys. Yeah. So Menno, what are your 3 go-to whiskey bottles at the moment? And so, obviously, you recommend to us, please.
God, that's a horrible question, and you know it. Because
no, it's not the best. It's 3. You really like to come back. I guess one could be this Manokmore, right? Easily, if you want me to withdraw a third one.
No.
I'm trying to help.
Okay. Yeah. No, the one,
or just one. I don't know.
No. There's a few. I think the Kilkerran 8 from last year that I sent you a bottle one. I bought 3 myself.
Oh yeah.
And
3 yourself. Oh,
yeah, and I'm almost running out of the last one, so that's been
Wow. I'm impressed.
Because that's really gorgeous whiskey, and I'm gonna see if I can find the 2025 release, which is a bourbon cask. And I tried that at Spirits in the Sky last year, and it's also really good. So I'm really trying to find that one as well.
Honestly, yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. That Kilcran 8 2024 at 57.4, right? I haven't tried so far, so disclaimer. Every single release of the Kilcran 8 sherried, I have maybe 2 or 3. There was one, Roy sent me a sample, probably 22 or 21. Very aggressive, the sample, bit calming down after a while. Difficult to judge, as you said, based on the sample only, but it was a more aggressive and classic Oloroso-esque, so to speak, release. The next one was good, but a bit also too much oxidative for me. But that one is probably the most serene, if I may say, the most not quiet in the sense it won't be captivating, but the most. The same time, it's very melted. Flavors are very integrated, and there's still some peat under the fruit, and then it gets to kind of another level, right? It's really beautiful. So yeah, well, you're sold, so I don't have to. But people, if you're interested, one of the best Kilcran around.
2024 is fantastic.
Next,
stuff.
Maybe. Next one.
Okay, the next one, I've already shown it. This is my second bottle of it. It's a Belgian whiskey.
The
very
Madeira?
easy going, the Madeira oak. It's only 50 cl, but I think it's 48 or 50 euros, so very decent for the price. It's probably about 6, 7 or 8-year-old whiskey, somewhere in between. So fairly priced, not overly expensive. I would like to see it in a 70 cl presentation, obviously, but it's my second bottle, and it's just a nice. It's not overly complex, but it's very, very warming, very engaging. It's easygoing and still has a lot of offer. So I really like that one.
I will communicate about your samples soon, about the 3 Gooden Carolus, but we have to talk about that one in private. You know what that means. Okay, sold. Je suis conquis for the French audience. And last one, maybe.
And then the last one is not so much a bottle as a distillery, and it's also a bit of anticipation to the third question. Is probably something from Loch Lomond at the moment.
Okay.
It's what Michael Henry and his team are doing over there is really very interesting. You have such a diversity in styles, and I know a lot of distilleries can do different things now.
Do you want to group the question? Then we may gain time.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm going to rephrase the question first, and then let you continue. So I understood reading your blog, Menno, that Loch Lomond is your favorite distillery. So you say yeah. Considering all the distilleries bringing in terms of variety of distilling process, but also yeast, etc., do you think? Okay, it leads us to somewhere else, but I think you can understand what I mean. Does a nowadays distillery has to be as versatile as Loch Lomond to stand out and please to people who are loving the Scotch whiskey, or is it just that they have found a great formula and you love that because of that? And why you love that?
I think it's the latter. They managed to, because they have such a variety of stills available of them and the capacity to do different things with them, that gives them the opportunity to both produce a consistent core range as well as do a lot of experimental stuff. And ideally, obviously, all distilleries should be doing that, but it's a question of capacity of casks that are available, stills, and of course what the audience expects from you. And I think it's really important for a distillery to have a recognizable style if you want to build a brand and build a name. I mean, if you look at perhaps what happened to Waterford, who almost refused to have a core range, but all these individual styles, it was too confusing for people.
That's what I
think
said.
That's probably one of the reasons why they failed in the end, because people couldn't keep up with what was going on. But
slight parenthesis, sorry, Menno. I said that in the video. I don't know if you've seen it. This is a reason, for instance, why the biggest capacity distillery now in France, Roselier, Gralet du Pic, named initially, who does that. I think this is why they have such a success. They have an identifiable core range, which I don't like everything. I said that. But they wanted to go on the terroir and parcellaire, they call it, so parcels. Very, in my opinion, very cleverly, which this range, disclosing the date, everything you want to know, with young releases, but always in second or third fill bourbon cask, and that's it. It's the same recipe for every release of this range. They're not all interesting, they're hit or miss, but people can see immediately. Let me show you the tube. Where's the tube? People can see immediately this is from the parcel. The parcel described, it is noted also where exactly it stands. So you have same color for all releases, the same parcellaire world. Okay, they had single farm, etc. But I think Waterford failed where this distillery, French distillery, succeeded. Plus, if we stay in Scotland, Waterford is in Ireland, but you see, for me, it's still a Scottish distillery, but producing in Ireland. I mean, Kilchoman with 100% Islay and other work that very clearly as well with color label change, etc. I mean, and local bar in Springbank.
Kilchoman is another example of a distillery that combines a core range with more single cask releases or experimental stuff. And well, I said it's important to have a recognizable core range. Maybe not so much a core range, but at least a recognizable style. If you look at the Arne Murchen, who also doesn't really do a core range, they do batch per batch, but it's a recognizable style, and the quality is there. Absolutely. So it probably prove that you don't need to have like a core range in the strict sense of the words, as long as you have a recognizable style in what you do. And then gives you enough leeway to experiment with other stuff like they do with the Paul Lanois cask, with the Madeira cask, with the Sauterne cask, the peated stuff, the unpeated
stuff. Which I hope they will come to France because their distributor don't want another end. About Loch Lomond, my friend, I have a few additional ones if I don't take too much of your time. Because I need to know where we're at now, and I know I could have asked Michael Henry because Master Blenders is really very available on social media. We really have to thank him for that. I mean, we dialogued through private chats in different social media with me, with Jim Whiskey Novice, with you probably as well. I mean, it's always available. If he doesn't answer now, he will answer in a few days, etc. All very precise, etc. What was my question? Do you know there was in the air the idea of they would get rid of the other sub brands. Not to
the Inchmoon and the Inchmurrens, they used to be released.
Do you have an update on that?
No, I think they already did that. So the Inchmoon and the Inchmurren
were named.
No, they still exist, but they're now named Loch Lomond Inchmoon and Inchmurren. So they used to be released under their own brand, which are named after islands in Loch Lomond. But
so now, because I haven't seen a bottling, I'm asking that because I haven't seen a new bottling.
They just named it now. I think they all named it Loch Lomond.
Okay, and under it you can see the variant.
Yeah, because
good. Yeah, I think it's a good idea because it was confusing.
Yeah,
also with the indie bottlings, Croftanga, and at the end of the day, 4 brands.
Yeah, that was probably a bit much, and I think now they're I could be mistaken, but I think the more obscure because you have then the Croft and Gea, which is heavily peated. You have the Inch Moan, which is mildly peated, moderately peated. Let's say, I think an Inch Fat, which is also heavily peated. So I think that's a bit confusing, and I think now they're just using the Croft and Gea for the independent releases. I'm not sure. I need to ask Michael Henry.
Okay.
But I think they use the Croft and Gea now just for the independent releases.
You didn't want to mention any release specifically, but also we don't have time to mention everyone. But for instance, I tried only once the Steam and Fire. Would you recommend people to get into that?
It's a very decent value for money expression. It starts a bit closed, and it needed to go well past the shoulders.
Okay.
Then it really opened up.
Nice.
It's
I bought the classic
40 or 45 euros.
I bought the classic no age statement in the supermarket last week. I haven't opened it yet. Also, I really enjoy the Glengarry blended whiskey, which is also, I need to know if it's 100% a single blend, or I'm going to ask Michael about that. The 10 years old, you said you haven't tried it, right?
No, I haven't. I've tried the 10 years.
I don't know if you people in the chat have tried Loch Lomond 10, if it's worth buying. I had tried the 12, the Inchmarine 12, the Inchmarine 12. My favorite Loch Lomond so far, no one asked me, but is something I tried at the whiskey shop, and I shouldn't have hesitated to buy because it's too late now. It was around 200 and more. So at that time, I hesitated. It was Inchmont, 25 years old, 1992 release. Fantastic, very subtle. Me also recommend Loch Lomond 18. I still haven't bought, but will do some time. Also, I tried. I was given some generous samples once. It was one of the open releases.
Yeah, the open release for the golf.
Open day.
Golf.
Very good series, I think. Usually, I cannot say about each release. I can also advise people who have a deep wallet, the 25 years old Loch Lomond. I tried at Whiskey Live. It was gorgeous.
I think the really older expressions, the plus 20 or plus 20 years old, will always be expensive. But the 18-year-old Loch Lomond standard release is very affordable. It's 80, 90 euros or so, I think.
Not here. Menno 20, 130. Otherwise, you would be at home. But considering it, buying it. Right, fantastic. I think we'll finish with your third question for me, but before that, I think it's time for you to...
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna...
it's. I have this here.
This is so rich, so fruity.
Yeah.
And I also think you have given me a second non-Scotch whiskey.
Go ahead.
This was the one when I said, "Oh, it seems so familiar," but I can't immediately figure it out. And then I thought, what if this was a Taiwanese whiskey?
It depends of something that relies on you. It's a clue.
I think it's a Nantou. I'm just gonna shoot from the hip and say it's Nantou.
No.
No?
But shall I give you a clue? It's a big clue, so I'm a bit annoyed. Maybe we should go ABV and...
ABV, okay.
And age first?
I don't know. It's so fruity, which I think is still from the spirit character, but also quite dark in color. So
but there is a... Yeah.
I don't think... Is it a Scotch whiskey?
No. It's a whiskey I would have loved to release, and there's a reason for that, because there's some similar aromas and
I think it's
flavors that I found in something I haven't shown.
Also has a herbal element.
Yeah, I haven't shown that to people before. When I sent you the picture of what I was putting down, I completely forgot to take this bottle. A bit of a shame, but I have a relationship with that bottle which is different from everyone. So
it's my favorite of the evening, I think, because it's so rich and so rounded. It's.
Would you guess the ABV?
ABV around 54, 55.
Yeah, a bit over beyond that. The age?
It doesn't burn.
No.
I think it's probably.
It's also because the bottle now is well past the shoulder, dangerously for me. I would have loved to have a 5, 6 bottle of that, but it's the most expensive of the evening. On my side.
It's
By the way, sorry to interrupt you. Keep your thoughts. I mistaked on the now that you know it's an Armoric 15, the previous blind. I mistake on the price in my video last week. It was not 115, but 125, the correct price. Still, I think great value.
I think this could be something of a wine cask involved.
No. As weird as it sounds, no,
and
not that one.
It's a very active bourbon cask.
Yes, but it's also due to
is
another.
Is it an Indian whiskey?
Haha. Yes.
Is it an Indian whiskey? If it's not Taiwanese and it gives
it's
so
Asian
flavor.
Definitely, and it's tropical aging. That's why it's so rich.
Yeah.
And you guess the age?
It's difficult to say. If it's an Indian whiskey, it could be 5, 6 years old, 7 years old maximum, which would be the equivalent of 20 years in Scotland or so.
I use the same trick as for the Armoric for this. I can tell you that. Except that you have a whiskey from this distillery in your sample set. I don't know if you tried it, otherwise I think you would have recognized it immediately. You don't know what this is?
Is it Indian whiskey?
Yeah. It's the Rampur. The 8 years old for La Maison du Whisky. Let me just...
Absolutely.
And it's no less than my whiskey of the year 2024.
I can see why. It's gorgeous.
With 96, sorry guys, out of 100. I'm going to shock people there. And it's 57.5, and it's 8 years old, 20. It's single cask, 995. It's bourbon cask, 8 years, and it's for the La Maison du Whisky's Foundations collection. Very expensive each year. They're bespoke store pick. Yeah. We didn't even get to the profile, but when I said it reminds me of something, I worked a bit like that for my whiskey.
If you're familiar with
rye, also.
No, yeah, if you're familiar with tropical maturation from Nantu or from Kavalan or from Indian,
do you agree that
bourbon? Then
it is not like the other. It's not like Amrut. It's not like Paul John, and it's not like Indri, Piccadilly Distillery. Very special, very much floral and tropical fruit and also flowers.
Very like active, wet bourbon casks that are really.
But for me, it's just something magic and mystery and dark art there involved, because I cannot understand how these flavors wood and rose can come from this kind of aspect.
In that climate, that heat and that humidity, I think much like we would be sweating, I think the casks have been sweating as well, and they impact a lot of flavor into the whiskey.
They don't feel like sweat, liquid sweat.
No. As in a lot of the liquid that was trapped in the casks that wouldn't get out in a colder climate like Scotland or France or Belgium would come out in a tropical climate such as India or Taiwan.
I have another question for you. Would you have suspected it's a single cask? Because for me, there's so much richness that I cannot and still believe it's from one cask only. Some richness and have you tried the other one I sent you, the Tokai finish?
Not yet.
So that's why you didn't guess it right away, because they have a similarity, but I think this one is more beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
You will tell me.
I still have a bit of it in the sample.
Have you opened it up?
Sorry?
Have you tried to open it up? A few drops, or you don't want? It's as beautiful as that. It's not sure it's better with water. I would try just 2 drops. I'm glad you like it, Menno, because it's the last drum of the day.
I love it.
So now you can review it, maybe. I mean, the nose is to die for. The palate is to die for. I'm biased, maybe, but
yeah, but immediately the richness and the of the wood and the fruit suggested that this was not Scotch. That's what I thought it was a Nantou, because I've tried a few of those, and it reminded me of that a bit. So, yeah.
But I think it cannot. I like Amrut a lot. Don't get me wrong, but they cannot reach that height.
No, the Amrut.
Or that style, let's say, to be more fair.
Well, I think maybe because Amrut is trying to recreate also a bit the Scottish style of whiskey in some of what they. This one doesn't care which style it is. It's its own style, and it's doing it very well.
But for people who don't know this distillery, you can have this one 175 9 euros, mind you. But
yeah, but 8-year-olds, it's the equivalent of a 25-year-old Scotch whiskey.
Yeah, and I tried a Whiskey Life Paris, and it blew my mind. I said, "Oh my God!" Then I couldn't retry it, so I asked the staff for La Maison de Whisky, which was the favorite of the 4. There's been 4 store picks for them over the years, and one only out of 4 people said this one the best. The others said it was the last year's New Vibration release. But for people who don't have that deep wallet, I mean, I did sacrifice stuff to buy that, but you can have a hint of that rose petal and lychee and guava, papaya and stuff in the double cask. Then you can have some in there. What else is this? Select release. And of course, there's more than that in the. Do I have it? Yes. It's this one. I send you a sample of Menno. This one is Jugalbendy 5, which is my second whiskey of the year. See? And the previous one, this one is Tokai finish, bourbon and Tokai. The previous one was the IPA finish, which was gorgeous as well. So, yeah. So, I'm glad I shared with you that way my whiskey of the year, because it's a surprise, right? No BS.
Absolutely gorgeous stuff.
I want to know that. What was your first thought when you nosed it, Menno? Is it that? Is it? What did you think?
No, the first thing I thought was
when you poured it in the glass.
I thought this was is really good. I was already pleased with the other ones, but then I thought, okay, now Greg is treating me and spoiling me a bit with this one.
Well, it's not Port Ellen like last time, but it's not bad.
It's really not bad.
You know, I like you. Now you know I like you. I love you. Fantastic. Okay. So I don't know. I don't have any reaction from the chat. So, and it's over 2 hours, almost 3.
Yeah.
So probably annoying people now. So I think the best thing is probably on that. Oh no, we had a question. Last question from you to me.
Yes, I will ask you one last question.
Almost forget because this whiskey makes me forget everything.
And I can see why. So okay, and this is maybe a good one to end the evening with. You, as you already suggested when you talked about indeed the Nordman, that you've had a bit of experience with working in whiskey and blending stuff yourself. Just to fully understand just how complex the job of a master blender is, can you share what you feel are the difficulties and the pit traps when creating a good whiskey?
Thanks. Of course, I'm on the very tiny Padawan side of master blender. So I mean, even if I did home blends since 2005, and that one of mine did impress John Glazer in 2006 so much that he invited me for a private blending experience, and we spent almost all day together talking about whiskey blending, etc. So great honor for me. But I'm still, and then I did work for Northman and approach other people, making them try my home blends. I'm not an insider yet in terms of, except my discussions with the owner of each distillery and indie bottling, etc. I will not be able to talk yet. It's my reservation on your question. Will not be able to talk about the more industry production aspects, if there was in your question, and might not. To say someone who's blending, I'm not blending for a company. I mean, I did once, but I didn't have in mind, I have a free card, carte blanche, a white card. So I didn't have to think of, shall I blend this with this because it's expensive and I'm not sure how much I can spend or what the price. But I talk about the price also with the owner. Okay. So with the technical supply, etc., I cannot answer. What I can answer is the process of creation I've been through and the difficulties, etc. With the things I can say, because I don't want to be disrespectful to the company I worked with, etc. So past all this reservation, I will say, in my modest experience, when I went to the distillery, here are the few issues I found. I didn't have that because I don't know why. Because I did a visit not with the owner. So I did a usual tour to speak only about Northmen. I did the visitors tour, nothing special for me personally. So like I was an outsider first. And I noted, took pictures, they're doing this, they're capable of doing that, even if they don't know it. For instance, they use 4 types of malt for their beer. They haven't even thought of using that for their whiskey. Me, I did, because I knew Westland, for instance, to start with. They haven't thought of blending anything. They're only bottling single cask and not even putting the number of the cask, because they're not in the geek spirit mind to think people need references, points, etc. They're not targeting geeks like us. I mean, they're very loose and okay, no problem. But for me, they're missing something, which I saw. So it's not really answering your question, but so one of the difficulties will be now to see things further. If I was to go to, let's say, Ben Romach, like I will if I win the champions, I can dream of that. At least it's free. Or Springbank. I think Springbank is a better example. There's a risk of being overwhelmed by the place, the distillery, and what did I wrote? The lack of time. I had this issue when I visited Northman, and there was the post-COVID period. There were bad weather conditions. It was not available for me all the time. So we had to quick, in a 2-3 hours of time, pick a few casks. Couldn't even as for everything, there was some. The storage is very important when you have to pick casks, select casks in warehouses.
Mm-hmm.
If the casks are not stored properly, you cannot. You have to climb the ladder, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can even access to all. So, I have a question.
Sorry, yeah, I was just going to say there's a question from Christian.
Hi, Christian. Yeah, absolutely. 26. I don't know if you can.
26.
It's too much light. I'm sorry, the image is not very good. Yeah, it's the one that's sold probably still currently. Yeah, my whiskey of the year 2024. Beating everyone. Oh, you're off? Sorry. There you go. So what was I saying? Let's see.
About the storage. The storage is really important.
So this is, you have to have full access. And if you don't have the material, all the tools, I didn't have the tools, not the proper glasses, and so on. Don't want to be too much again criticizing, but I brought my own. I have notebooks, I have things. I was allowed to bring back the sample bottles. So to work from home, which I did a more serious work.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have the pit traps rush it. Want to have too quickly a release and not to take the time to work on your blend. An advice I will say to home blenders already is do not rush it. Wait 1 week after you make your first trial. Keep your ingredients, the bottles you're using, on the side. Put the liquid, the blend you made in a container that will not let too much air in it. Wait for a week, mandatorily. Taste it that week after, and then see if things have changed in the profile, and if some of the cask, I'll go too fast in myself. Maybe the thing I would say, the biggest trap is to be overwhelmed by the cask themselves. So you have to lower down the ABV, tone down with. You have to dilute them all. Of course, you have to assess them before. It depends if you have 10 casks, 20 casks, or 100. Like many master blenders of big companies, they have 100 or more. So I don't see you much. So maybe, so there's some of the issues. What could I say also? Not to be free to choose everything you want, age-wise, ABV-wise, content-wise. I know, cannot say everything, but also you have to know that if you don't have the white card, you will not have the choice of ABV. ABV is very important. I have to argue a lot to defend 48% for my release. The natural strength ABV was lowered because I picked a cask which was diluted for a specific reason, which I found way more interesting than others. There was cask strength, but harsh. So you can be inclined to lower your expectations on ABVs and power in favor to balance and complexity. It was I was looking for the gourmet side, but mostly balance, complexity, and a bit of depth. And this you can only obtain, in my opinion, if you play on variety of aspects. What was before in the cask? How much time? How old it is? Was it in a dunnage? For this release, I went to 3 different warehouses, 2 dry, 1 dunnage. I chose casks from 3 to 9 years old. I discarded the ones that were older, that would have impressed more, maybe on the label, though you're not allowed here to put the older one on the label. So it ended up being a no-age statement. But I tricked things saying it was a multi-vintage on the back label. And I said 5 different vintages. The French SWA, so to speak, didn't say anything. Also, to be honest, the release was so confidential that nobody cared, probably. So these are some of the questions that I can say. I would also say don't mistake on if you have the responsibility of a label, don't let it be done by anyone and have a last hand on it, because it can damage your final product. There's another reason. Sorry for the brand. At the last minute, they decided to go to screw cap, while all the other releases are, I couldn't do anything about that, have a cork. So the signal that was marketing-wise, that was given to press, retailers, and people was, it's a cheap whiskey. We are saying it's a very craft-like whiskey with a lot of care. I spent 6 to 8 months and 8 different recipes to obtain the result I wanted for that. It's quite some time. But at the end of the day, it finishes with a screw cap. So the signal given to people, it's supermarket stuff. We don't need it. Also, the label was not like I wanted, etc., etc. So be very careful for that kind of things. So I don't have the money to be an indie bottler, do my own company, etc. But if you have, be very careful all the aspects, final product, outside and inside. I don't know if there are other things I can say.
No, it's a very interesting experience for you to share.
So I hope,
the good and the bad stuff.
Yeah, I hope I will have other occasions.
I really
also
hope
to prove what I'm capable of, probably with a less divisive profile also, because what I did blend is only what I had on hands. So only wine cask and specific kind of process also. So I would say don't judge a book by its cover, but people do that. So
and it's really weird. No, it's tradition and custom that we still associate screw
and
caps
it's French
with
whisky
lesser
at the end of
quality
the day.
and with cheap blends, and the cork is associated with single malt or high quality, higher price whiskey. And there's intrinsically no reason to assume that, but it's tradition.
And in the 80s were fantastic. 90s, Gordon MacPhail connoisseur choice bottlings of that Port Ellenborough were having that as well. But people don't know that. So I had no choice. So the release was bottled. So, but beyond that, I think what I would like to is to have the opportunity to work with I might shock people, but with a company whose whiskey is clearly identified and probably loved, and then I can show what I can give extra, maybe to specifically
different take on what they do.
Different take, but also something that brings, it's maybe pretentious, but something that brings something extra to the usual core range, or maybe one-off, not necessarily the best, but something extra that could maybe interest people, so people can judge me knowing the distillery house style, probably in Scotland, let's say, for instance, and then saying, oh, you did that on their style, interesting or not. But so I want to be judged like that, and for now it's not possible, so it's a bit frustrating. Okay, well, we got to stop there, I think, before losing everyone on my modest experience.
Been going on for almost 3 hours, so maybe
last word for you, maybe, before we leave. And
no, I'm very happy
for last chat between us two.
No, I'm very happy to have done this again with you. It's always an interesting evening, and I've tried 3 very interesting and lovely whiskeys tonight. So I'm really happy. And if other people have enjoyed what we've done as well, then all the better for it. It could have just been an easy chat between the two of us, but it's always nice to see people appreciating these kind of things too. So thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for bringing me to my attention also outside for your news from Belgian whiskey scene, this Menno, which is a distillery. I definitely have to look for more. Thanks to you. Even the Bladnoch was interesting to see some one-off, if we can say that, right? Release.
It's
what
a
we
weird
know from
one.
them. And yeah, Glencadam 21, merci. It's a confirmation of how good it is. So, yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm not happy because it means more spending in whiskey. I'm kidding. And yeah, I'm glad I made you discover that Rampur. So yeah, you will tell me what you think of the Jugalban D5 now when you have the occasion. Maybe review them too, like I did. If you want to review the two of them, you could now.
Cheers, Roberto.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. So on that, we're going to call a night. And
yes.
Merci beaucoup. Bye-bye, everyone.
Merci.
Thanks for watching. And thanks for those coming on replay. Much appreciated as well. Cheers. Okay. Shut the screen. Bye-bye, everyone.